Another poetic technique that Homer uses, I like to call a quiet moment. It's a term invented by a scholar named Joe Sharkey, I don't know when, around the year 2000. It's also well named because it refers to a moment that is quiet. More particularly, it's a moment that contrasts with the moment that came before it, usually a very loud or even violent one, full of adventure and razzmatazz. It often comes at the end of a book, and always with loving attention to the detail of some very ordinary, even domestic action. It reminds me of what guitarist Jimmy Page said about his legendary band, Led Zeppelin, that their songs could be like a scream in one instant, but a whisper in the next. It doesn't take much explaining, so let's go straight to the examples. How about a quiet moment about Euryclea, the servant woman, Telemachus' wet nurse, who's still serving him in her old age, and she essentially tucks him into bed at the end of the very first book. Now, it's important to remember that Telemachus has been visited by Athena in disguise, but he suspects that she's divine. He knows he has a job to do, and that job is to become a man, to stand up for himself or his mother and his household, whether or not his father comes back. So for the first time, he's popped off to the suitors, and we cheer. You suitors of my mother, insolent men, at daybreak we shall sit down in assembly, and I shall tell you, take it as you will, you are to leave this hall. If you choose to slaughter one man's livestock and pay nothing, this is rapine. And by the eternal gods, I beg Zeus, you shall get what you deserve. A slaughter here, and nothing paid for it. Attaboy. Now, of course, this gets him into trouble with the two ringleaders of the suitors, Antinous and Eurymachus. But that trouble won't come to a head tonight. All Homer wants to do at the end of this book is to bring the day to its end. So Telemachus goes to bed, and Euryclea accompanies him to do her job. No servant loved Telemachus as she did, she who had nursed him in his infancy. So now she held the light as he swung open the door of his neat, freshly painted chamber. There he sat down, pulling his tunic off, and tossed it into the wise old woman's hands. A little rude. She folded it and smoothed it, and then hung it beside the inlaid bed upon a bar. Then, drawing the door shut by its silver handle, she slid the catch in place and went away. And all night long, wrapped in the finest fleece, he took in thought the course Athena gave him. Now, as I find myself marveling repeatedly, no book culminates the way the Odyssey culminates. Homer is building up to Book 23, the reunion of Odysseus and his wife Penelope, and he brings all of his poetic techniques, all of his powers to bear there. The entirety of Book 23, you could say, is an extended quiet moment. Let's call it an epic quiet moment. If you want to see how Homer pulls that off, click on the button just below the subscribe button for the long podcast. But first, click on that subscribe button.